Alright guys, and welcome back. We're going to be looking at the Demogorgon today. I put the Demogorgon in the 6th best killer in the game, just above Freddy Krueger at the 7th, and the Huntress at the 5th place. Now you might be wondering what puts the Demogorgon above Freddy. Keep in mind all my builds are based off using no add-ons and using good perks in the red ranks. Okay, so the Demogorgon's special ability allows him to crouch, open his face, sounds weird, in 0.5 seconds and go for a dash at a whopping 400-ish movement speed. It is insane, it is so fast, and it covers the entire length of the shack. So that just shows you how long the dash is. The downside about the dash is it is a very thin area. It has almost no aim assist when you go with it. When you hit somebody, you have a little bit of a CD where you open up and then you slow down and you can become absolutely insane. Right, let's have a look at the kind of build you'd run on Demogorgon. Now, Demogorgon doesn't really need Ruin, alright? Unfortunately, throughout the PTB, the Demogorgon did suffer a nerf, and that was when you use your lunge ability, you no longer can apply things like Sloppy Butcher, Devour Hope, and it really, really hurts him. A lot of people say save the best for last is one of the key perks on Demogorgon, so you can M1 somebody, then dash after them and down them. It is plausible, but at the same time, I feel there are better options on the table. Now, there's only 2 killers I recommend the Wombo Combo, Discordance, and Pop on. You can run it on a lot of different people, but it works very efficiently on the Demogorgon. So yet again, we're going to come in here with Pop, and we're going to be looking at running Discordance for our 4th perk here too. Now, my perks are generally in a set order. Okay, in fact, sorry, that goes in my 3rd slot. Alright, so normally I have something to stall the game, something for stable regression, something for situational awareness, and a utility perk. Now, the thing about the Demogorgon is he's all about downing people as quickly as possible and then rotating throughout the entire board, right? You can run Infectious Fright, but it no longer applies off your dash hit, so you'll have to M1 somebody down, and really good survivors, won't make that kind of mistake at certain jungle gyms. So to make him stronger, instead of running Save the Best for Last, instead of running Infectious Fright, you could go make your choice. Make your choices more plausible on this gentleman. Sorry guys, I've got something in my throat. Make your choices more plausible on this gentleman because he could teleport back to hooks. He could teleport to a tunnel he puts in the ground across the board. You cannot break the tunnel until he has used it once. A very important note. If the Demogorgon is mid-tunnel in the upside down world and somebody breaks the tunnel, he still comes out through the end of where the tunnel has been broken. Another very important note. Demogorgon has an add-on up here which allows you to see people while traveling in the upside down world that reveals injured survivors. It's very powerful, don't get me wrong. However, you bet it. Nurse's Calling works. If you're traveling in the upside down world from one end of the board to the other end of the board, which is very fast travel, you can see people healing on Nurse's Calling. You can see people being healed on Nurse's Calling. You can use that information to your advantage. You can know 2 people are to the right doing a self-care near no generator and then rotate to the left. Or you can go to the right if you had something to slow down the heal. Do keep in mind, while you're in the upside down world, if you had something like Chlorophobia, it will not work as well. Nurse's Calling is a hidden gem on this killer that a lot of people don't really know, right? Very, very powerful as well. Not many people have been running nurses on him, but I highly recommend it for certain situations. Alternative to the fact of Nurse's Calling. This perk, in my personal opinion, you take nurses or you take barbecue and chili. Now, you could take Thrilling Tremor and Seal Generators. Yes, you could. Barbecue's more valuable. Now, why is barbecue more important than Thrilling Tremor on the Demogorgon? Well, much like I just said before, you can teleport to a tunnel that is being broken by a survivor. You can still emerge from that tunnel, and now you are essentially in chase. If for whatever reason you had add-ons to high detection, you can get even closer and then come up and down these survivors, injure these survivors. You know somebody's going to be breaking your tunnel, you can go straight to them. Somebody rotating to a save, you can go to a different tunnel you've prepped earlier. It can be very devastating. The reason I don't recommend barbecue on Freddy is you cannot go to different areas on the map. You can go to generators as opposed to the Demogorgon can go to wherever he put the tunnel. You can put it under the hook, come back for a make your choice hit if you wanted. I personally wouldn't want to go for that kind of gameplay, but I would rather keep the pressure throughout the entire board. Alright, Infectious Fright means 32 meters. You could realistically run Infectious Fright and Knockout if you wanted to be that guy. I'm really, really keen on the build I have right now. I know that I put my tunnels generally near generators that I don't want to have to rotate to. For example, a platform Jenny, I'll put a tunnel near that as well. Very rarely will I put a tunnel near somebody on the hook. If somebody's on the hook in the corner of the map, I will put the tunnel probably about 15 meters away from the hook, so when I come out, I can look at a 45-degree angle, and they're still in the corner or rotating along the skirt, and I can cut them off rather than right under the hook. So there's a couple of ways to play it. This perk here, in my personal opinion, I would look at running... I don't want to say Ruin. I'd rather say something like Corrupt Intervention to force the pressure around the entire board. That Corrupt is going to allow them to tunnel together with Discordance. It also means if I'm on a really large map, I can go for the tunnel placement in front of the generators or near the generators that aren't sealed, as opposed to the ones that are sealed I can worry about at a little later date. If I did run Ruin and I spawn in and 2, 3, 4 people start on the same generator in the corner of the map, the time I travel across the entire board on the mountain and put portals on the floor, the time I go around the board and do that, they've already completed that generator. As opposed to Freddy, he can just teleport straight in towards them. So you see, I prefer Corrupt on the Demogorgon over running Ruin in the higher ranks. I can see why people do run Ruin on him. A lot of people aren't comfortable with him, but you can make really good plays when you run it correctly. Do keep in mind the red moss was added to the killer's base kit, so when he uses his ability called Shred, he holds right mouse button for 0.5 seconds. He can hold it for as long as he wants. His movement speed slows down, and then when he presses M1, mouse 1, he will release and do a dash, right? Good Survivor will be able to hear this. When your face opens up, you make a hissing sound. And a good survivor will run in a direction, twist from one angle, and just sidestep like that. I've done it quite a few times myself to Demogorgons, and you'll be able to hear the second he releases his launch, he makes a whistling sound, like wind coming really fast, alright? And he'll dash. You won't be able to react when you hear that. When you know that has happened, when you hear that sound, you know it's too late to twist your camera. So the second you hear the face open, you go for the sidestep. Don't even turn your camera over the shoulder. The time you do that, he can actually aim straight at your center and mass him down you. A good survivor, like I said, will run straight at a window and then hug the wall and twist away. He'll dash. It's a big cooldown off dashing and missing as well. Dashing and hitting a wall. He stumbles a little bit and then he has to get back up. So this being said, it makes looping the shack a little bit harder. Now let's talk about playing from the Demogorgon perspective. Alright, so somebody's going to try and loop you at the shack. As they go into the shack, you twist and you hide your light for about 1.5 seconds. You do a 180 and you spin and you turn in, you open your face, and now if he goes to the window, you got him. Do not lunge. If he's holding an item and the item disappears out of his hand, it means he's committed to an animation, whether that be vaulting a pallet or jumping through the window. Alright? If he's not holding an item, just wait. The second a survivor goes to window, regardless, they always run in a straight line to it. A good survivor can bait it and then hug the wall and twist out. Just wait, because the time they actually activate the animation for the window, your dash is 400-ish movement speed. You'll be able to hit him through the window, even if he's already initiated the vault. If he goes for the God pallet, another good play, or any kind of pallet, open your face up, because if you dash at a pallet, you instantly break it. It's like built-in brutal strength. You do it so fast, and it has a huge tap close. Keep in mind, holding M1 will allow you to go further with the Demogorgon. Not looking up, but holding the button. If you only want to do a little dash, just tap it. You'll still go a decent distance, but if you hold it for longer, you will go even further, okay? Keep these kind of things in mind. With a Demogorgon, if somebody, for whatever reason, is camping a pallet and you open your face and they go for it to run, you should be able to guarantee take 3 steps through, dash and hit him, and if you can't, go around the wall, dash and hit him. Guaranteed. You don't need bloodlust, you don't need nothing. These things are set in stone. A good survivor might try and sidestep, flick his camera, do a little pretty twist. Just be patient with your hits. You need to be fast but patient. I know it's sounds hard to understand, but the reason I put the Demogorgon in the 6th best place is because A, he's so easy to play, B, he has map pressure and rotation, C, his ability is near impossible to not use correctly and is so easy to understand, and on top of that, the guy is lethal. He can go right around the board when he needs to. He has a distinguished heartbeat, which is weird to understand. Michael Myers' heartbeat, you can understand. And when he's in chase, you hear that sharp piercing sound. The Trapper, really easy to understand. Demogorgon's heartbeat can be difficult to understand how close he is, especially if he has Wander and Abuse. I wouldn't recommend it on him. He just brings something completely different to the table with that. And that's another reason I put him in 6th best place, because of how powerful he is to how easy he is. Some of his add-ons are pretty devastating too. Now, me personally, I like looking at add-ons like this. This allows me to increase my travel speed while in the upside down world. Travel speed and undetection, in my personal opinion, are the best. You know, people that are breaking a portal and they have exhaustion, doesn't matter. At the same time, if you go to lunge at somebody as they dead hard in a straight line away from you, if you hold M1, you will go past them but still hit them if they dead harded early or late. You have to time it perfectly. They're better off sidestepping into a dead hard so you miss that. Because remember, you are hurting. You're pretty much doing a point of damage that entire distance you go, right? Even if somebody tries a cute spin, Demogorgon is powerful. He gets a lot of blood points. His build or his perks he comes with, in my personal opinion, the only really powerful one is Surge. You could use Surge on the Demogorgon, don't get me wrong, but I personally feel Nurse's Calling, being able to know where people are while traveling upside down, is very, very important. But at the same time, you're missing out on Barbecue. You could get rid of Discordance for Barbecue, and if you were going to get rid of Discordance for Barbecue, I'd then recommend Ruin. If you're going to keep Discordance, I recommend Corrupt, and then I'd take off Nurses for Barbecue. If you needed Barbecue in your build, do you notice how I just changed that build 3 different ways, and not once I mentioned Pop Goes the Weasel? Because Pop is stable and important. The fact that you can get around the board like that makes it very crucial on people like Freddy Krueger and Demogorgon. And that there, ladies and gentlemen, is why I put the Demogorgon in the top 6th place.